throwing stones and what have you. I was a very small boy. I think around the age of 6. I'm not sure how old I was, but it was between the age of 6 and 8. Because I know not long after that, my father sent my mom and us away from his house. And we went to my grandfather's house to stay. I used to fall sick, whether it is malaria or any kind of sickness. And the kind of experience I used to have in those days, I don't know whether it still happens. When I am sick and my mom will be bathing me in the open, I will see. I'm not sleeping. I'm not talking about something that you see when you are sleeping. While I wake, I will see troops of soldiers marching, group, as a small boy. And they are all carrying guns. And they are coming after me and speaking the truth before you. Before the living God. I will see them, but no other person is seeing them. My mom does not see them. I will see them marching and they are coming after me. I will cry, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, they are come, they have come, they are come." My father was not anywhere to be found. My mom will rush into the house and bring a panga, a cutlass, and bring cutlass and come out. I say, "What are they?" Let them cross this place. Let them come near. And they will see what I will do to them. Then she will raise the hand and cut the cutlass like this through the air. But you know what? They will turn and run away. Now, when I remember today, what comes to my mind? Assuming those people, because I know what that means today spiritually, assuming they march on and got to where I was, those soldiers, hefty, and then they picked me and crushed me, I would have been long dead. Amen. So I remembered. I also remembered 2 other incidences that obviously was enough. Those 2 incidences were enough for me to have been gone as a small child. This one now, I was about the age of 10 and 12. We were already away from my father's house. So in order to help my mom in one way or the other, I will, because the woman was suffering, in order to raise us up, the 3 sons she had, I will go to the stream. I think I have told you stories like this. At night, small boys will count ourselves. We'll say we are going to catch fish in the stream. In the river, rather, not stream. The river that comes from an ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. So we will all go at night. We are carrying only what? Lantern. Not even torchlight. Who gave monkey banana to eat? Torchlight was something very expensive. Lantern. That the wind can blow off anytime. And then we'll carry it and went. I remember that incident. We went and then in order to catch a big fish, you have to go down inside the water and carry your hook with a bait, small thing that the fish will see and come for food. Then you have to put it inside a hole that you have identified so that the fish will come out and eat it and begin to shake the stick, the rope. I was inside water one day, one of those days, and I saw something swimming, coming after me. A small boy, around the age of 12, not more than that. I saw something swimming. I thought it was a fish. Immediately, that time they had taught us how to tie. My grandfather has taught me how to tie panga or cutlass in the sheet and tie it around your waist. So I drew out the cutlass and began to, I didn't know what it was, but the thing was swimming. I began to hit it. Power, 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 power. Until eventually the thing didn't make any move again. When I stretched my hands to catch what I have killed, fear because of what I saw. It was my first time of seeing that. The next time I saw it, I think, was after I had become very, very elderly. It was an animal. The head was like the head of a tiger. The body like a tiger. But the tail was that of a fish. So when I touched it and I noticed it has hairs, I was afraid. But I have killed. I have caught a big animal. My mom will be happy today. There will be meat for food. So with fear, I managed to drag the thing, and then I beckoned on one of these elders that went, somebody senior to me. I called them from afar off. Come. So they came. And then the man helped me to bring out the thing. The tail so smooth, flat like that of catfish, and huge. What was this? Then that elderly fellow among us says, this is a sea lion. Sea lion. The next time I saw it, I was showing, we went to California. In fact, my wife didn't believe that was the kind of a thing I killed. We went to California and we were moving on a small boat. It was on a pleasure ride. And so the captain asked us to turn and see the sea lion. We turned. I told her and the children, you see that thing you are seeing there? I killed it when I was a small boy. I said, kid what? She never believes. You will see the sea lion. It can kill anybody. But guess what? I killed it inside the water. Who gave me power to do that? Assuming I didn't even see it, and the sea lion got to where I was. Assuming I was turning my back this way, looking for fish, and the thing came from behind. I would have been meat for the sea lion. Another time, we were going home after we have finished catching fish. Let me remind you, we were not wearing shoes, no sandal. And you will be passing through the bush to go to that river. So one of the times we were coming back home, I've shared with you how we used to struggle, who will be in front, who will be at the back. Somebody will go and say, I will be in front. And then fear is at the back because they are saying there are some deadly people some people who died in our place and they are deadly. They are still alive, killing people. So somebody will come, some of us, a boy that is left behind, will come up and say, come in front. So we'll be doing that. One turning, before we know it, we will reach home faster. Because nobody wants to be at the back. But in one of those days, I marched on something that my feet were so cold. And I jumped. And as I jumped like that, we landed and looked back. Then we heard, that was a huge snake. It was a snake I marched on. So when I look at all these things, Prince Okechukwu Obasi-Ike, you will have long been dead before now. I know we all have some spectacular stories. Every one of us. But remember them. Remember the psalmist in Psalm 51, verse 1, talks about remember the rock from whence you were hewed, where God brought you out. And that pit from where God picked you. Remember it. Don't forget it. Remember the place where God picked you. So that when you are entering into his gate, you will be full of thanksgiving. Knowing that you are not alive because of your power, but you are alive because of his grace. Hallelujah. I'll give us 3 points from Thanksgiving in its own perspective. Having a different perspective of Thanksgiving. Let me just give you 3 points to take note of. Number 1. Remember, he came down for your sake sometime. Remember when God came down for your sake. If we look at this story, the text, our text, Exodus chapter 3, verses 7 and 8. God said to Moses, I have heard the cry of my people. That's what God said. I have heard the cry. I have seen the afflictions that the taskmasters, the Egyptians, have been afflicting them with. I know their sorrows. Then in verse 8, he said, and I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians. That coming down should mean something to us. And I want to say to every one of us, there has been a time that God came down for you. Now, when God decided to deliver the Israelites from the Egyptians, deliver them from Egypt and take them to the promised land, he chose not to send any angel. He decided to come down himself. And I know that God has done this for us several times. Particularly when you know, or at the time you experience situations that you could not help and nobody was there to speak for you. But you were agonizing. For instance, some of you face a lot of injustices and you cry. At a certain time, God will come down to do what? To bring justice where you are without you having to even call on him. And I want you to know something. When the children of Israel were crying in Egypt, they were not crying to God anymore. Because the Egyptians have literally made them to forget God. They made them to do away with anything that has to do with their God, the God of Israel. That's why Moses, when God said to him, go and tell them that the God that I am sent you. The God of your fathers. He said, well, they won't believe. Because who are you? They have no idea who you are. By the afflictions they have passed through, they no longer actually believe that there is God anywhere. That the God of their fathers was still alive. So afflictions have made them to forget God. And I know many times afflictions, troubles, make us to think that God is no longer for us. But I want you to know, it is in the midst of that affliction that God now comes down. And when he comes down, like I mentioned earlier, God will never come down without leaving a mark. Are you with me? He will leave a mark so that everybody will know that he actually came down. For us Africans, let me tell you, God actually came down for us so many years back. When the white man, where the Wazungu were still coming and taking our people, and see a son, and see a young boy, a young man, and they will take that young man away from the father and go. The son will not see the father anymore, will not see the mother anymore, and take them to a country. And as they were going, many of them died. The people kept on lamenting, crying over their sons, over their children that were taken away to a strange land they knew not where it was. They cried. They cried. The white man had power to kill. They had guns. We had nothing. But because of the cry of the Africans, God came down. That's why today we are all exercising the kind of freedom we are exercising. In terms of weapons of warfare, the white man had what it took then.